All right, guys. Welcome back to the Unrestrained Podcast. Today's Monday, April 14th. Say hi to the people, Alfred.
What's up, everyone? Welcome. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, April 14th, man. We're getting ready for, some of you are getting ready for Easter's, right?
Yep.
And some people are, celebrating other things, but hey, happy Monday. Welcome to the Unrestrained Podcast. Just want to give you guys a quick I want to give you guys a quick informational on how you can plug in and be part of this podcast. You can dial in by calling the number 714-493-9317. We're located here in Southern California. Beautiful sunny California here. Everything's great. Man, what a shaker today. 6.7 in the Richter scale on San Diego today. It was felt all over the Southern California, but it doesn't face us. 6.7, it doesn't face us, right? We've
No
been
big
through
deal.
no big deal. We've been through the strongest year, 6.7. People are afraid. Those that are visiting to Southern California, we're so used to it. That was just a small shaker to us, but thankfully nobody was hurt. Nobody, no, there's no structure damage here to any cities. I haven't seen anything major to San Diego. So gladly everything's doing fine in Southern California.
Yeah. So, just more evidence as to how the fake news is so fake. Um, Excuse me. Growing up here in Southern California, you notice, Alfred, that excuse me, you don't hear anything about the big one anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Every year we would get like these predictions. I don't know if you remember. Well, I don't know. I remember just as you growing up, every year, like say around New Year's time, um, you'd have people come out making predictions. I don't know. I'm trying to, for some reason, I remember this, but every year the big one, that we're past due for the big one. Still waiting on the big one, Alfred. I'm 47 years old and I still waiting for the big one. And you don't even hear any predictions of any big one anymore. So, just chalk it up, guys. Add it to the list of fear mongering by the media. I remember even, people would talk about California separating for the rest of the continent, falling into the ocean, and still, still, still waiting. We're still here. Um, but yeah, just more evidence. But yeah, little shaker, no big deal, not even worth even mentioning, to be honest with you. But it is what it is, guys. So I've been I've been really thinking, we've been talking the last few episodes about
Yep.
Pat Bondi, Cash Patel, and what the heck is going on with the Epstein evidence, like all the evidence. Where is what have you guys even heard his name mentioned out of her mouth or Cash Patel? Nothing, not a word.
Correct.
Not a word, right? And
Crickets.
yeah, I have a theory that um I have a theory, guys. We're hearing a lot about the terror. Okay. So this is what I think is going on, guys. I let me know what you all think. Feel free to chat. Don't forget to like, subscribe, right? Unrestrained Podcast on YouTube, Unrestrained Podcast on X.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's help us get to the White House, guys. But what I think that's going on, Alfred. That we're. I think at this point, I have decided that they're trying to gaslight us, and I believe that this whole focus on MS-13 and Tren de Aragua is the same strategy. They're trying to get us to focus on an enemy, right? Like it's the same thing with like Putin, right? Putin is this devil. The same thing with Saddam Hussein, right? We need to go to war. We need to go to Iraq because Saddam Hussein's this big dictator. Gaddafi, same thing, right? We have to go get rid of that guy. And I think it's just to take our attention away from distract us, right? From the real problems, the real things that are going on, right? I think that this MS-13 and this Tren de Aragua, the heavy focus on the deportation of MS-13, so-called terrorist, which, yeah, I'm going to preface it with this. Obviously, I'm not advocating or trying to imply that it's not important to get rid of all these illegal immigrants, especially the ones that are dangerous, right? So please don't misunderstand. Um, you're moving me around. That's okay. Um, yeah, it looks like we're having issues with the camera stand. It's moving. All right, just don't touch it. Let it sit there, just like that. There you go. All right. So my theory is, Alfred, is that MS-13 and this Tren de Aragua, they're just the next Putin.
Yep.
They're just like the next bad guy that we need to be worried about and afraid of. Which, again, I'm not saying they're not bad, guys. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not dangerous. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be, deporting these people as fast as possible. But I I think I'm pretty comfortable saying, when you look through the social medias and you look at every time Pam Bondi or Kash Patel make any kind of comment or at a press conference, the overwhelming amount of comments are people are asking what is going on with the Jeffrey Epstein files.
100%.
Right?
Yep.
And so I think that they don't want us to think about that anymore. They want us to be, scared of MS-13 and Tren de Aragua, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want us to be focused on that, Alfred. Am I making sense what I'm saying, Alfred?
100%.
Is that they're trying to shove this down our throats, that this is the thing that we need to be the most afraid of and the most concerned with, right? And this is the highest priority right now. I think that they're trying to shove it down our throat so that we're not even worried about, Epstein or the Hunter laptop and the Russian collusion hoax, right? All of the judges and lawyers and politicians that have basically, Fauci, right? Everybody involved in the COVID hoax, okay? And the shots, like, let's not worry about any of that stuff anymore, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because we have MS-13 and Tren de Aragua that we need to worry about.
Correct. Yeah, 100%. No, everything that you're saying is 100% true. I mean, just think about it, guys. Folks, if you're not paying attention to what's going on here, you're practically seeing that the legacy media is for the criminals. They're for the they're for the immigrants. I mean, think about it. We just, today we had the visit of El Salvador President Bukele in here, and this is what CNN is on their mind.
But Alfred, this is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really focused too much. I mean, CNN and all these guys, they're all clowns.
Of course.
But what I'm saying here is,
the next narrative
that the Pam Bondi and Kash Patel,
of course,
and the Republican Party and all these people, the Avenger team that we assembled,
exactly,
okay, is not panning out.
Exactly.
Okay, Alfred, this is what I'm trying to get at, is that I'm really starting to strongly suspect that Pam, at least for sure Pam, okay?
Yep.
At least for sure Pam Bondi is controlled opposition, okay? Her job I think she's a deep state plant at this point, is where I'm at, and her job is to continue to push this Tren de Aragua and MS-13 narrative, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is what is WWE, Alfred, okay? Meaning that all they want to talk about is the MS-13 and Tren de Aragua, and they want us, okay, to focus on that and be complaining about CNN and how terrible they are, and they want the fight. They want the fight to be about, like, the media, they just like terrorists, they're supporting terrorists, and they want me and you to be on this podcast right now, Alfred, talking about, you know, oh, look how ridiculous the media is. And yes, we will talk about it anyways, because that's where we're at. Look how ridiculous the the media is. They support terrorists, they support illegal immigrants, right? And that's what they want. They want the back and forth. They want the back for the right and the left, right? Because Alfred, that's better. That's what they want us to focus on and argue about. They don't want us to talk about Epstein anymore. They're trying to change the whole thing.
Oh, I got you. I hear you.
Okay. Instead of we're not sitting here arguing about what's going on with Epstein, what's going on with Fauci. Why is he not been indicted yet? Right? Like nobody's talking about any of that. The news cycle and the fight is about MS-13, Tren de Aragua, and who supports these guys and who doesn't, and how the media is reacting to it. Do you understand what I'm saying, Alfred?
I hear you. I hear you.
I really believe that that's what's going on right now, and we're all. It's a trap. It's a trap, so that they got to move on, Alfred. They got to move on from just like Trump's first term, lock her up, and then no lock her up, and it all just went away. Okay,
I got you.
And so they're trying to do it again, and I'm gonna say that Trump doesn't get a pass on this, because it's not like Trump can't bring it up. Why doesn't Trump himself bring anything up? What's going on with Fauci?
Yeah.
What's going on with the Russia collusion?
Right.
Investigation. Didn't we talk about, hey, guys, we brought the Avengers in to take care of business, and I understand it's only been a few months, right? I get it, but we're not even talking about it, Alfred. It's not even being mentioned. They just had another staff meeting, wasn't it, last week, that was publicly televised again, right? And did you hear any mention of Fauci? Did you even hear his name mentioned?
Nope.
The laptop, right? And again, Epstein. None of these things are being come up. What about, remember Cash said the 9/11 report? That he would release the 9/11 report day one too. That was part of we're not. What happened? And I'm always gonna bring this up. I'm gonna continue to remind everyone that we're still waiting. They want us to be focused on this MS-13. I guarantee you that most of the people in MAGA are arguing with their leftist friends about MS-13 and Tren de Aragua, and how the media is crazy, and how we need to deport all these people, which all those things are true, okay? But again, they don't want us talking about the Epstein stuff anymore.
No, I'm 100% with you, man. I mean, think about it. It's all a distraction. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. This thing with Carmelo Anthony guy, it's a distraction. It's a distraction. This is what they use. The media is complicit of everything that's going on here. And I'm with you. I was the one who kept
not just him, Trump too.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's true. Yeah, no,
right.
100%. I think I agree that there's something boiling up here. It's only been 45 minutes. Right now, 45 minutes, I'm sorry, 45 days, up to 60, under 60 days. And we have not seen any arrests. We have not seen, I love what somebody, I think, somebody posted on X, right? I think it's Catturd. He said, as long as I don't see nobody being arrested, right? No, sex traffic people being arrested, no pedophiles being arrested, nobody's being held accountable.
Nope.
Till then, we will know that things have not changed. And I think we're onto something here, guys, folks. We are onto something here. It's starting to stink. It's starting to smell. And I feel that, before the 3 years, we're gonna be singing a complete different tune here, that we say, we told you so. We've been saying this, right? I mean, you've been saying it too,
Well, I
Isaac.
mean, look, these are just theories that I have. Um, oh, coincidentally, look right here on Citizen Free Press. What is this? I just happened to be scrolling, and where does it say here? We were just talking about uh, what's her name? Maxwell,
Yep.
right? How why she's still alive, right?
Yep.
Why has it? Why have we not heard anything here? Let me send this to you, Alfred, and let's see.
Yep.
I'm gonna send you this link, and let's see. I'm not even gonna listen to it until we watch it here all together. Let's see what this is. Let's see. Second here, Alfred.
Yep. Yep. 100%. 100%. I mean, I'm on to you, man. I mean, I'm with you on this. There's a lot of things, and and again, we've been saying it, we've been mentioning it here, man. And sometimes people get upset at us, right? Because we're saying, no, you're not supposed to say anything about Trump. You're supposed to be, come on, you're supposed to be supportive. You're supposed to be, he's draining the swamp. He's doing everything he can possible. Well, I don't know. I'm starting to double, I'm starting to have these doubts. I mean, is he part of it? Is he not? Is he? I mean, we said it here multiple times where we said, can it be bigger than him? Can the swamp be bigger than him? I mean, he's in power right now. He's assembled a good team. Why aren't they arresting people? Why isn't Cash? Why is it Bongino? Why? And everybody's saying, be patient. It's only been 60 days. It's only 60 days. Listen, folks, this is the only time that we have for this man to be in office. After that, that's it. No more. There's nobody else that we can look at. JD Vance, maybe?
Yep.
You
Check
know,
your email, Alfred.
yeah, JD Vance is going to be taking on this thing. I don't know. We're running out of time here.
Yeah, I mean, who knows who's gonna when Trump's out, who's going to pick up the mantle again? When you start adding up everything, um, when we go back and remember the interview with Dr. Phil, where Dr. Phil asked him, "Hey, are you going to seek retribution?" Trump responds by saying that our success will be our retribution, and I criticize that because already Trump wasn't taking a very strong position on whether or not are we going to go after people? Are we going to have justice? That is what that's what a lot of us that voted for Trump voted for him for. Well, number one, the economy. We'll get into that a little bit. I'll have some comments on that. Um, the economy and justice. Those are the two main things for me, anyways, that I want from him. On the economy, I think we're good. Not even worried about it. The economy is going to be fine, right? But the justice part, that needs to be taken care of. So you have it up there, Alfred?
Yep.
All right, let's check out, see what this is. I saw this right now. We're scrolling through. Looks like Ghislaine Maxwell. The headline read that well, let's go ahead and watch it. Sounds like she thinks Epstein was killed or unalived. Let's check out. Let's see what this says right here.
I believe that he was murdered. Well, I was shocked. And I wondered how it had happened. Because as far as I was concerned, I was sure he was going to appeal. And I was sure that he was covered under the non-prosecution agreement. But I wasn't in the indictment. So I wasn't mentioned. I wasn't even one of the co-conspirators. I obviously wish I'd never met him. Looking back now, I probably wish I had stayed in England. But leaving that aside, I tried to leave and start a new job and move on from the end of 98, 99. So I wish that I had been more successful at moving on. Because I became a banker, so I should have, moved on completely. at the time, I wouldn't have had a problem introducing people to my friends to him because I didn't know that he was so awful. I mean, obviously now, looking back with hindsight, of course, but at the time, I mean, he had lots of friends. I mean, he was friendly with just about everybody you can imagine. There was no reason to imagine that he wasn't someone of interest.
Oh, interesting. I wonder who she's talking to. But do you notice how they always use pictures of Trump
Yeah, of course.
on that? They never put the Clinton ones. And anyhow, it's already been discussed many times that he did visit Mar-a-Lago, and Trump kicked him out, and that's a matter of record that he did. Kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago after he found out that I guess he was being weird. Anyways, but um, yeah, interesting. She's kind of seeming like she wasn't involved or something. She's kind of right, doesn't she? Kind of seem like she's talking about she wish she would have met him. She could have got out. But again, you know, she why are we not trying to make a deal with her to find out, get the bigger fish? We want we want all these political criminals. Those are the bigger threat. Those guys are more dangerous than MS-13 and Tren de Aragua, right? They are more dangerous. So that's more of the concern here, is we need to find who was involved, who were the clients, so on and so forth. So anyhow, we'll move on to the next story here. So Alfred had the clip, I'm sure you guys have seen, that's been going around where you know the media was I guess at the White House along with Bukele and the president, and they're talking about bringing back that person who was deported to El Salvador, who was I guess a member. I don't know if it was MS-13 or Tren de Aragua, but let's go ahead and watch the video here, and yeah, I guess we'll break it down, and we'll see what we have to say.
Give me 1 second here, loading this thing up. Hold on. I'm not seeing the. Oh, here we are. Yeah, sorry, that thing hit away from us, man. It's trying to hit. Okay. Here we are.
Yes, gladly. So, as Pam mentioned, there's an illegal alien from El Salvador. So, with respect to you, he's a citizen of El Salvador. So, it's very arrogant even for American media to suggest that we would even tell El Salvador how to handle their own citizens as a starting point. As 2 immigration courts found that he was a member of MS-13. When President Trump declared MS-13 to be a foreign terrorist organization, that meant that he was no longer eligible under federal law, which I'm sure you know, you're very familiar with the INA, that he was no longer eligible for any form of immigration relief in the United States. So he had a deportation order that was valid, which meant that under our law, he's not even allowed to be present in the United States and had to be returned because of the foreign terrorist designation. This issue was then, by a district court judge, completely inverted, and a district court judge tried to tell the administration that they had to kidnap a citizen of El Salvador and fly him back here. That issue was raised to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said the district court order was unlawful, and its main components were reversed 9-0 unanimously, stating clearly that neither Secretary of State nor the President could be compelled by anybody to forcibly retrieve a citizen of El Salvador from El Salvador, who again is a member of MS-13, which, as I'm sure you understand, rapes little girls, murders women, murders children, is engaged in the most barbaric activities in the world, and I can promise you, if he was your neighbor, you would move right away.
So you don't plan
But
to
the
ask for
Supreme
it
Court's
to get it
asking
back?
to,
Is that
what was the ruling in the Supreme Court, Steve? Was it 9-0?
Yes, it was a 9-0
In our favor.
In our favor, against the district court ruling, saying that no district court has the power to compel the foreign policy function of the United States. As Pam said, the ruling solely stated that if this individual at El Salvador's sole discretion was sent back to our country, that we could deport him a second time.
Well,
no version of this legally ends up with him ever living here because he is a citizen of El Salvador. That is the president of El Salvador. Your questions about it, per the court, can only be directed to him.
Oh, guys, that's great.
Oh, that's crazy.
But again, guys, I hate to participate in the distraction. This is all what look at Pam sitting there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why isn't nobody in the media asking her what is going on with the Epstein files?
Exactly.
She's sitting right there. The media doesn't even ask her, not Fox News, not anybody. What is going on with the Epstein files? This is why you guys got to like, share, and subscribe and get us those daggone views so that we can qualify to go to the White House. And you better believe that I will definitely ask Pam or Cash what is going on with the Epstein files. I want to know what's going on. What's going on? Anyhow, I'm beating that husband. I'm getting really frustrated because, again, to me, this is all a distraction. Okay, guys?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, these are dangerous people. We definitely need to get rid of these guys. Two or three. To me, I'm watching like coordinated WWE nonsense. That's where you have CNN fighting with the president and his cabinet and going back and forth, and she's being ridiculous. I'm starting to think, or do we really think they're that stupid? I mean, CNN knows what's going on here. We know their propaganda, but again, is this just show? I'm starting to think this is just a show. Okay,
Yep.
This is just a show because at the end of the day, they don't want us to be focused on the real criminals, the political criminals, the people that are in power. They're the real criminals. They're the ones that we need to be more afraid of than any Tren de Aragua or MS-13 gang. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those people, they can kill people, but not as many people as political criminals. When we have politicians out there violating our Constitution, trying to steal elections, that's another one, Alfred. What is anybody investigating the 2019 election? Why are we not investigating that? I mean, I think I heard something. The other one might be doing her job somewhat. Is what's her name? Tulsi Gabbard.
Yep.
I think Tulsi recently came out last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And didn't she? Do you know what I'm talking about, Alfred?
Yes. Yeah.
Let's see. Tulsi Gabbard, Dominion. Let's see.
Well, while you find that, man,
Yeah, let me look it up
we're
here.
actually looking at one of the accounts on X by the name of Cat Turd, and he says the following. He says, "My patience is wearing thin when it comes to arresting government thieves. Jeffrey Epstein's Rape Island pedos, the thieves who have stolen trillions, trillions that Dodge has exposed, the traitors who set up Trump, the network who tried to assassinate Trump, the child traffickers, right? The traitors who stole the election on 2020, the COVID demons who lied about everything and killed millions, our swatters the hundreds of Congress members who are getting rich through what inside trading, and on and on and on. I trust Trump's team, but I must have accountability. If this doesn't happen within hundreds, possibly thousands of arrests, these traitors, nothing changes." And I'm with them.
Yeah, so she had a
I'm
press release. Oh, actually, no. Damn it. See, what happens is Google's trying to,
Of course, hide it.
hide it. But she came out and I guess and was calling for paper ballots only. Apparently, she's uncovered evidence of the machines being able to be manipulated, just like everybody was claiming during the 2019 fraud claims. She's now coming out and confirming what a lot of us were told. So a lot of the concerns that those that believe there was fraud were already talking about these machines and how they can be changed and how they can flip votes.
Mhm.
So anyhow, so she's out there doing something good. That's great. Unlike Cash, I believe Dan Bongino put out some sort of. I heard there was a X post he put.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, he's visiting I think he's visiting offices. He's busy gathering data.
well, he says something like, "Just because you don't hear nothing doesn't mean nothing's
Yeah, I've
happening."
seen that. Yeah, I've seen that.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I heard. So okay, see. That's all I ask, Alfred. Okay, that's all I ask. A little update. That's all we need, Pam. Okay, just a little update. Let us know that you're actually still even thinking about it. Okay. But anyways, yeah. So Bukele's on there at the White House, and um, obviously anybody with any brain would understand that you cannot tell the president of another country what to do. The guy's a citizen of El Salvador. They've taken him and put him in prison. What's her face from CNN asked Bukele, "Hey, would you not just release him?" Like, no, he's not going to release a criminal out into his country just because CNN doesn't like the fact that they were um, that he was deported, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, I really believe this is all a game.
Yeah.
This is all a game and a distraction. The
Distraction.
whole daggone thing. But yeah, I wanted to talk about a little bit about the tariffs, guys. So, this is frustrating for me, Alfred. I think Trump is failing here in the administration to like the messaging when it comes to these tariffs, right? Like, I'm tired of hearing people say there's all this chaos and confusion, right? When it comes to the tariffs, that that the Trump administration is it moving again? Okay, that the Trump administration it didn't do a good job of communicating to the people uh and letting us helping us understand this whole tariff debate. And I don't know why it's just not a hard thing to understand. I don't know if I'm being naive here, but Trump went out of his way to communicate to the American people. He ran on the tariffs. We all knew that this was going to happen. He did say, "Hey guys, there's going to be some little turbulence, right?"
Right.
When people on the news they want more clarity, a better direction. Today I was hearing a lot about, like California, they're blaming the tariffs for everything, that they don't know how to budget because there's too much uncertainty in the market, and um and they can't create their budget because a lot of their budget is dependent on the market, and the market's very unstable right now because of all the uncertainty that's being caused by the tariff war, right? Or the tariff negotiations is what they are. It's a negotiation. And when you have the media ask the administration, questions like, when are we going to get a better vision or clear direction, or does the president, what's going to happen with the tariffs, right? You know, guys, it's a negotiation. I don't understand why this is so difficult for anybody. And I guess maybe because most people in the political office or in the media, like, never had a real job, like a real job where you have to negotiate and there's uncertainty when you're negotiating. I can just relate to this as an example as, every year where I have to review pricing, okay, to help review pricing. And when we do our annual budget,
Mm-hmm.
the pricing that we negotiate with the customers impacts the annual budget, right? So to me, the way I look at this is when I send over a revised proposal, let's say I send something to the customer saying, "Hey, this is your increase for the year, or not increase, whatever it is. Okay. A lot of times, at times, you get pushback. They might say, hey guys, I'm not accepting this. Okay. And then what happens? Usually, I'll reply and say, hey, well, let's talk about it. Let's take a look at it. Let's review. I'm not going to be, some, it depends. Some customers, I might say, well, take it or leave it. Some other customers, depending on the customer and what kind of business and how much business you're doing, you might have some flexibility there, right? So until all of this is worked out, until I have finished negotiating and finalizing all of the pricing with all the different customers, right? That is, I guess, I could understand maybe uncertainty. If anybody was asking me what's going to happen with that, Isaac, what's going to happen, with the pricing, what's our revenue going to be like next year? There's too much uncertainty, bro. Can you let me work this all out? Can you give me some time to talk to customers, right? Do you not want me to get the best deal possible for the company, right? Do we not want Trump to get us the best deal possible on these tariffs, right? I mean, of course there's going to be uncertainty. And the problem is that, of course, this is all being done in public. And unfortunately, we have a media that doesn't give a crap. They're not really out there to report, to keep the American people informed, right? They're out there to create an environment to make it seem like, Trump is this was not really well thought out. It was well thought out. He told everybody, he said, this is what's going to happen. Okay. He goes out and he puts a blanket tariffs for everybody. What happens? You have most of these countries picking up the phone, ready to talk. The only one that's a problem right now is China. And why? Because they're the big dogs, right? Too. Yep. And they've been getting away with, basically ripping us off. And we can't expect for them to go away and just concede. I mean, you think China's just going to be, after years and decades of ripping us off and getting away with stealing our intellectual properties and, robbing us blind, taking our jobs, not, having all their product come in here, but yet we're not able to sell in their markets, right? You think they're willing to give all that up? Not to mention the fact that this whole tariff thing is undermining a lot of their plans that they have internationally with other countries, right? It's a big problem for China. So of course, guys, it's not going to be easy, right? But instead of having a media that is actually like there to inform the people, right? Because if they were there to inform the people, they wouldn't be helping clarify.
Yep.
Right? They would be, and I'm not saying that, well, technically I am going to say it is their job to communicate to the American people. But right now, their job is to cause chaos, to make it seem like something is bad is happening that's not really happening, right? Correct. You hear them say word like, this has been done too chaotically. Well, how else can you do it? How else can you have, tell me how else you can go in now and clean up this mess that he did not create. Trump did not create this mess, okay? But now you're having to come in here and fix all of these tariffs so that we can actually become more wealthy. Now, where Trump is, I would say the administration is doing a terrible job, okay, when it comes to the conversation on tariff, is they keep harping on the fact that, hey, guys, look, we need to bring manufacturing back to America, right? We need to impose these tariffs because this way we can get manufacturing back, right? Bring these jobs back here to the United States. Realistically, guys, that's not going to happen overnight. Of course. Right? That's going to take a long time. That can take years. And realistically, honestly, all that'll happen is probably by then, Trump's not even in office. Whoever else gets in can very easily undo all of it, right? And now where it's like they never come, right? But what will happen immediately, what would happen immediately is that if you get all these other countries to lower their tariffs, let's just say no more tariffs anywhere, right? Right. This is the part that they don't ever talk about, which to me is easier for people to understand, not to mention will be more of an immediate benefit. And that is the price of goods would drop. We would have access, our companies here in the United States would have access to other markets, hopefully including China, which then would benefit American businesses that are here already, right? In export, we would increase, I guess another easy way to say it is we would increase our exports out to the world, right? So we would be exporting more product, right? And the markets would open up. So immediately a lot of our companies here would benefit from that.
Right.
That's the part that people that they don't really focus on. And to me, they're way too focused on bringing manufacturing back as the benefit rather than the fact that we'll be able to, like, for example, sell Fords in countries where right now you'll never see a Ford
Right.
or a Chevy.
Right.
So that is an immediate win. Okay. And I mean, you could Google, maybe look up to see what other products we export out of the United States. And then you just start looking at that and say, okay, that is immediately right there. That would have an immediate impact day one, creating more jobs. And looking forward long term, yes, we would have more businesses coming in here to the United States. Because at the end of the day, guys, if everybody just dropped tariffs and manufacturing did not come back, and all we got was just lower tariffs so that we have access to more markets, that's already a win.
Correct.
That's already a win. So super frustrating, guys. This whole tariff thing. And again, we know because the media, all they want to do is they're trying to fearmonger the American people because they want a recession. We've been in a recession, guys. Hate to break it to you, but we've been in a recession for over a year now, at least. Okay. And I'm here to tell you that in the industry that I'm in, we see the recessions way before anybody else does. And I'm telling you, it's about to get uglier for sure. Because I could tell you this month and the last month are been horrendous. There's not a lot of movement in the market. And that's something that you will not see reported on the news for like a month or two. So mark my words that you're going to hear probably like first quarter was terrible. Okay. But it's okay. Because we got to get through this. We got to get through this little adjustment period so that we can actually come out strong here toward the end of the year.
Right. I mean, in regards to that too, as well, I've heard the media is coming out and saying like that, Trump took back, the tariffs, right? He took back the tariffs. He backed down. Realistically is because he's keeping a close watch on the market.
No, what it is. So this is what it is, Alfred. This is what's so ridiculous. Okay. Trump goes out. Let me again. I go back to the analogy when you're negotiating with somebody, okay, and you say this is all he did was he threw out there some stupid number. I forgot what we started with. What were the initial tariffs? Like everybody was getting.
Well, he initially started with was it 25? Was it
whatever one? It doesn't even matter. Okay, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna raise everybody's tariff across the board. Correct. Whatever it was. Let's just say it was 25% across the board. Correct. Right. So 25%, everybody freaks out. Okay. Oh my gosh. All these other countries start picking up the phone. Obviously, once you call, he got the calls. Okay. And they're like, hey, we're willing to talk this out, man. These 25%, man. What could we do here, man? Can we get a hold on this? Right. Yep. We're willing to make a deal. Let's talk it out. Once somebody picks up the phone and calls you to work out a deal, it just logical that you're going to put a hold on this. Okay. That's the part. Like, again, I told you guys the analogy. I can send pricing out to customers and say, these are your new pricing effective X date. Okay. Right. Effective these dates. This is your new pricing. Okay. What happens? I get an email. I get a phone call saying, bro, can we talk about this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can we talk about this? I don't know, man. Do you have any room here to negotiate on this? Let's schedule a call. Let's talk about it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I do the same thing. Hey, let's push these dates out. Let's go ahead and hold off on making this effective. Let me talk to them first.
So so let me ask you a question. Now that you work in the business and you understand because you're negotiating, right? So you do a lot of negotiation.
Yes.
So do you think this is the way it should have been handled? The Trump administration to be able to come out and say, we're going to start, activating tariffs, right? To get, other countries to come and negotiate. Is that your take on it?
Well, yeah, because you don't have time.
Correct.
Alfred, like you can't look, it's like I could call a customer and be like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
can you give me a call? Let me know when you're available so we could talk about pricing. What do you think the person's, if somebody called you, if your mortgage company or your lender called your house and said, hey, Alfred, when are you available so we could talk about your mortgage?
Correct.
Right? Or when are you available so we could talk about X something that might cost you more money now after this call? Okay, just whatever it is you pay for, Alfred, a bill, whatever, right? Your phone company, your electric company. Hey, Alfred, give me, when are you available so we could talk about your bill, what your rate that we charge you guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
How quickly do you think you're going to end up calling? You're probably not going to call, Alfred. You don't want to call that number. You don't want to call. Right?
Of course not. I'm going to try to linger as much as I can.
As opposed to you get a letter from the electric company or whoever, Alfred, telling you, hey, guess what, Alfred? X date, your rate's going up 15%. If you have any questions, call this number. How quickly are you going to call then?
Oh, of course. Right away.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Damn. I mean, how many times has that happened to you with your car insurance, Alfred?
Of course.
I'm sure that happened here in California. It happened to a lot of people where all of a sudden you got a like 30-40% increase on your premium not too long ago on all your car insurance, right? And I'm sure if you were anyone like me, I'm like, yo, like what happened? I didn't add a car, I didn't add anything, like I'm on the phone, like what's going on? So again, that's all he's doing is because we don't got a lot of time, Alfred. So what do? You go out there, you send the invoice out, if you send the notice, and guess what? They're calling you. And that's what happened, right? They're calling you. And so, of course, you're going to get off the phone after you talk to these people, and you're then going to announce and say, hey, guys, we're putting a hold on the tariff increase. Yeah, there you go. Taiwan holds first tariff talks with the United States, right? Yeah, put that up, Alfred. I mean, this is just normal stuff, guys. But of course, the media is not going to report this as like, hey, normal guys. Hey, guys, the reporting should be, oh, great strategy by Donald Trump. Puts it out there. All of a sudden getting calls, guys. They're in negotiations. Things are looking good across the board, except for China. They're being a pain in the butt, right? We'll see what will happen with them. That's how all this should be talked about. Right? So anyways, guys, hopefully that makes sense to anybody. It sucks because yes, I mean, right now, and I would say the media is largely to blame because they're creating this environment where there's this chaos, and technically they're correct. There is uncertainty because that is just, how are you going to predict what the ends of a negotiation? You can't.
Correct.
Okay. You can't predict it. I can tell you what, I bet you all but China, but even China, I'm going to say, is going to lower their tariff on us, right? It's going to happen because the reality is it's going to hurt. Right now, already they're going through more pain than we're going through right now, okay? The worst for us is, okay, our product gets more expensive, right? But what you got going on in China right now is factories are shut down because there's no shipments. There's no orders. People are being sent home. They're not working. They're not making money, right? So for us, the pain will be, too expensive. Guess what, guys? We have the option of not buying that product, right? At least we can not buy that product. So good. As long as you got your job, you're still making money. You're just not going to spend buying something that now has gotten more expensive. You don't have to do it. On the other hand, the Chinese people, guess what, guys? They're not working. They're not getting a paycheck. Okay? Tough to deal with that. So, who do you think is going to last longer on this? Right? I mean, I don't know about you guys. I can last a pretty good amount of time without buying something that I don't want to spend the money on, right? But lasting without a job, that's tough. Okay? That's tough. Anyhow, that's that. What do you got there, Alfred?
Oh, it's just the defiance. How China went from courting Trump to never yield tariff defiance. So I guess it's just like what you're mentioning. You're mentioning we're having a hard time with China, and this is pretty much what's happening here. There's a defiance going on here with Chinese, and to their credit, they're the biggest producer. They're the one. They're the production company. They're the producers of some of our main some of our goods.
Well, and that's the problem, Alfred.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem we're trying to solve is that we wouldn't be worried about trade wars if it wasn't because we have this problem with China and how they have all the manufacturing, right? Like if you're somebody out there, they're like, oh, Trump's an idiot. Look at everything's going to get more expensive. The fact that you even have to worry about that is the problem itself.
True.
The fact that you're so worried about pissing China off because your products are going to get more expensive is exactly the problem we're trying to solve. Exactly. Right? Is we don't want to be in that position.
No, and to credit of Trump is he's the only president that is actually defying China. He's actually going on and saying enough is enough. I think it's enough. Remember Joe Biden talked about it, and then he, pretty much bend both knees. Yep. You know what I mean? And this is where the situation is, where we at. Nothing was done. China's making a killing off of the United States, right? And I think that's where Trump has had enough. And I think that's he's saying enough. I mean, I saw Kevin O'Leary, I believe. He was mentioning in one of his interviews. He says China has gotten away with a lot of things. The tariff should be at 100%, 400% right now on China because they've gotten away with so much. They're not only do they steal our product, not only do they steal our intellectual or some of the devices, and they create booty crap. Some of the stuff that they're creating, manufacturing crap. I'm sorry to say this, but Amazon sells a lot of crap. Yeah. But he's right. He's right.
Yeah, guys. So let me send this over to you. I got this article up right here. It looks like Bernie Sanders was over at Coachella. And so I'm guessing Bernie Sanders is going to try to make a run. That's what it's looking like. He's going to try to run for president again.
Of course.
Which is kind of crazy because the guy's an old dude. And
but they got AOC, the socialist. She's got other young people. So they're coming strong. They're coming for something.
Yeah. So I have looking at this article here, which is the Telegraph. Bernie Sanders urges Coachella crowd to stand up against U.S. oligarchy, right? Golly, guys.
Hey, shout out to Arturo Diaz. He's out there in the chat.
Yep. Yeah. So Senator Bernie Sanders held celebrity-backed rallies across the U.S. and he emerged as one of the most vocal opponents of Donald Trump in the presidency. Let's see. He says, taking to the stage after performance by Charlie XCX, which I don't know anybody. I don't know any of these new artists. I guess this guy's a British pop singer. Mm-hmm. He told 36,000 strong crowd, "We need you to stand up." Says this is his quote: "You can turn away, you can turn away and ignore what goes on, but you do it at your own peril. We need to stand up to fight for justice." This is the problem with the left, guys. They don't leave you alone. Like, do you see what's going on here, guys? Like, people go to Coachella or go to events historically back in the day. Maybe this is old school thinking. You had no politics to get away from all of that. Get away from politics. get away from your job. You go there to have a good time, to
Yeah.
have fun,
Mhm.
right? But
Correct.
no, guys, the left can't leave you alone. Okay, they went into the NFL, they went into the NBA. They will freaking hunt you down at your concert in Coachella to make damn sure, okay, that you're not having a good time. They need to remind you that you need to be afraid about the oligarchy,
Yep.
and that and they be more scared about social justice. Just crazy. Um, I don't like. Why do you guys? If you're on the left, like, how do you not get upset about this? Don't you want to be? Don't you want to have a safe space? Whatever happened to safe spaces, Alfred?
Yep.
I mean, didn't we consider concerts like safe spaces where you can just go and you don't have to worry about like just nonsense? No, like they won't let you just have a good time.
Correct.
They got to be in your face, always reminding you, Alfred. I mean, next thing you know, I mean, don't be surprised if you have like Alexa at your house. Next thing you know, Alexa's going to be reminding you of this stuff while you're trying to go to sleep, right? Like there's going to have an alarm and the alarm's going to wake you up and be like, oh, good morning. Don't forget that, to stand up and fight for social justice today. Just a reminder, you have there's the oligarchy out there, and you need to, what are you going to do today to fight back against these oligarchies and, what do they refer to? A fascist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, correct.
I mean, don't be surprised. Now that I said it, watch, it's going to happen.
Correct. Arturito's out there. He's writing. He says, "Puro global warming now. Un raspón." Arturito's after.
Yeah. So he's quite say we've got a president in the United States. Mr. Sanders said to a chorus of boos. I agree. Mr. Sanders continued. I think that climate change. He thinks that climate change is a hoax. He is dangerously wrong, and you and I are going to have to stand up to the fossil fuel industry and tell them to stop destroying this planet.
That's exactly what Arturito said.
I just said that. Yeah. And which is crazy, right? Because as he's saying that, the microphone that he's using was made with fossil fuels.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
I guarantee you, and I've never been to any of these, but I bet you, because it's Coachella, it's in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Right? I'm very confident they're running generators to power everything there,
100%.
which is fossil fuels, which is what he was using to actually power the microphone that he was talking into to get this stupid message out, right? But it's all on fossil fuels. So practice what you preach.
No, well, they're not. And that's the problem.
How about you yell?
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you get one of those, one of those, what is it called? The
megaphones, but with no power to it because it's greener that way.
Exactly. But no, look, see, that's the thing though. This is what they do. The left does that, man. They talk down on you, thinking that you're not paying attention to all this nonsense. They want you to eat what they're putting down, but unfortunately, it does not make sense. And if you look at everything that they're putting down, it doesn't make sense with their lifestyle. And they're hypocrites, and that's the thing. Everything that they were putting up there, like you mentioned, the generators, everything, people to get there. I mean, come on now. For all these people to get there, they had to drive a vehicle, or were they all on the EVs? No, they all had to spend gas to get there. You know what I mean? It makes no sense, and that's why.
Yep. And a lot of them are rented RVs, and are RVs, and are out there at the concert, using a lot of generators,
correct,
to power, so they can have the comforts of home, because there's no hookups there. But anyway, says he's also, of course, you see, this is the fear mongering, guys. This is what he's saying to the crowd. You can turn away and you can ignore what's going on, but if you do that, you're doing it at your own peril. We need you to stand up, to fight for justice, right? To fight for economic justice, social justice, and racial justice.
Marxism.
Yep.
Socialism. That's what it is, man. That's what it is.
Yep.
And see, the problem with that is, us that grew up in the 90s, we've already experienced that, man. We experienced this thing, but the young people are the ones that get caught up in the nets on this thing, and they're all for it. It makes. I mean, I talk to people all the time. It makes no sense. And I'm trying to make. Hey guys, this has already been tried before. This global warming thing was already in the 2000s, 1990s, right? The social justice, the matcha clubs, all this stuff was already part of the 90s. They've never been exposed to it. It's something like new for them. It makes no sense.
You know what's going on, Alfred? So, because I'm reading on here, it says, "I'm really disappointed by the Democratic response. I want more action on their part, more outrage." She said, right? Mr. Sanders said, "We are living in a moment where a handful of billionaires control the economic and political life of our country. Mr. Trump is moving the United States rapidly towards an authoritarian form of society," he added. It's just crazy, guys. But I can't even read any more of this. It's yeah, I've had enough of that. But yeah, guys, the Bernie Sanders, AOC are, I think, making a move here to fill in the vacuum and take on that leadership role.
Correct.
Which is fine.
Right.
I think it's good. I'm good with that.
You're okay with it?
Yes, I want AOC to run. That'll be fantastic.
And Bernie Sanders?
And Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
And it'll be an easy win again for JD Vance. But we'll see, guys, because I might not like JD Vance by that time. We'll see what happens. JD's been doing a great job, but I guess, guys, I am just very disappointed so far with the Avengers. I think Pat Bondi is. You know what, guys, we need to get rid of Pat Bondi, man. I don't know how to do it, and I don't say that in violence.
No, of course.
No, violently here. I don't want anybody.
Yes.
Anybody
don't get any ideas
between the lines.
Of course, no ideas.
But we see now why Matt Gaetz was pulled away, and she traded in. She was traded in for Pam, because I think by now Matt Gaetz would have already been. Somebody would have been arrested.
I mean, I've said it. I think I mentioned it to you. I think I mentioned it to you since 2012. This lady was involved. She was the AG for Florida. She was pulling strings for the Trayvon Martin case and Zimmerman. You remember that clearly. I mean, it's 2012. It hasn't been that long. Some of you do not want to look back to 2012, but she was the one, and Obama, who were pulling the strings, trying to shut down the defense for Zimmerman.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, since then I've just felt bad, and now she's here, and I've been saying it. I've been screaming at the top of the lungs. I said, demand accountability, and it's not happening here.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, and the other thing I wanted to mention here, before we wrap up, because I think we're pretty much covered what we got to cover for the day, but unless you got something else, Alfred. But I was thinking about the thing with China and the tariff thing too, just kind of hitting back on that, guys, is you have to remember too, China has to still come across strong. So you can't expect these guys to just like fold to Trump like these other countries do, because they've talked a big game. Okay. Like Chairman Xi, just like Putin, these guys, still have to, and even Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. These guys have big ego. They have big persona. They all can't make a deal without, they cannot concede without making it seem like they didn't concede, if you will, right?
Correct.
So you can't expect like China to go out without at least appearing like they're putting up a fight,
Mm-hmm. Of course.
because they cannot show weakness in front of the world. So this has to be, I'm very confident that there's probably conversations between Xi and Trump right now where Trump pretty much already knows
Mm-hmm.
what they're going to do. It's probably something along the lines of, look, man, we're willing to work here, Trump. But look, dude, in public, we gotta, we can't just come out here and, just because you put these tariffs on it, we're going to have to come out strong. Okay. We're going to have to come out. We're going to have to push back. We're going to, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, we'll come up with the deal. Let's just figure out how we can do this, right? And everyone here saves face.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Give us some time to figure it out on our end, right? Because I'm not going to just come out here and, in public and be like, sure, America, whatever you want, right? So it makes sense that there's probably going to be some back and forth here, and the Chinese are going to have to figure out, how do we go ahead and come up with the deal here, while at the same time not putting out this message to the world or coming across weak in front of the world, right?
Well, to the credit of the United States, man, there's actually I was reading something that says we're still the global reserve currency. I mean, this is the U.S. We are still the global reserve currency. Everybody uses the dollar. So we're still under, as we say, a couple of weeks ago, right? I'm just saying about a month and a half ago. Remember, we had a president of Ukraine that visited the White House, right? And in this conversation, you guys know the story. It blew up on his face, and Trump told him straight out, said, "You don't have the cards, right?" Remember, you don't have and Trump has the cards. See, that's the thing. Trump understands the art of the deal, and so with that said, he understands how to negotiate in the back and in the behind closed doors. And I'm sure this is something that happens behind closed doors. Yeah. But in the eye view of the media, he has to show himself strong. He has to show himself like this is what's going to happen. And that's it. We've been through this path before where we have enemy within, and that's our media. That's these politicians, the wishy-washy ones. And that's what Trump is trying to avoid, having a whole thing, because that's what happened his first term.
Yeah.
He was bamboozled by these people. He understands how powerful they are, and I get it.
Oh, so funny thing here. This is the other hand. When wasn't I just talking about how the left goes in and they don't leave people alone? People go to Coachella to have a good time.
Yeah.
Right? They want to get... So look at this headline here that I just found from the Daily Mail. Coachella descends into chaos. Oh, hold on a second. Coachella descends into chaos. Attendees branded worst in history and demand refunds before gates open. Wow. So let's see. Coachella appears to have already descended into chaos. Well, that's the other thing, Alfred. Coachella is super expensive. I heard today something like it was $17 for a lemonade.
Yeah.
Something like a lemonade, a burger, and fries. You've spent like $90. Something crazy like that. Okay, which no doubt about it. So anyhow, so you go out there, you spend all this money, and for what? To get lectured by Bernie Sanders? That's pretty freaking lame, right? That's just so disrespectful. I'm not going to spend money to have Bernie Sanders come in here and lecture me about anything. But anyways, Coachella appears to have already descended into chaos, with dozens of attendees already branding it the worst in history and comparing it to the disastrous, I never heard of this, Fire Festival, despite doors not even officially being open. So this was before it even got started. The iconic music festival held in California, which runs across 2 weeks, every year, will open its gates later today to see a list of celebrities and ticket holders. But car campers have taken to social media in droves this morning to relay the carnage in the car parks. Wait, when was this put out? Let me see how old this article is. This was put out on... Where's the date? I don't know. But anyhow, this must have been last week. Oh, so this was April 11th. Okay, so yes. So we're on the 14th now. So that's when this was put out. It says on X, formerly Twitter, some users claim that they were waiting up to 12 hours to reach the campsite. Oh, hearing lots of reports of Coachella getting off to a rough start for campers today. Some have waited as long as 12 plus hours. Wow. Okay, so it looks like it had more to do with like how unorganized and packed that whole thing was. But anyways, everything's falling apart, guys. You can't even have a good time at Coachella. You got to go show up, pay all this money to get there, all this money to eat, and then on top of it, you got to get lectured by Bernie Sanders. So have at it. But anyways, Yeah, that's all we got, guys. That's all we got for the day. Had a rough work day today, so couldn't really prepare a whole lot for the day, but want to make sure we came on here and kind of gave you guys an update. We were out last week. Next week, I don't know, I'll have to figure something out, Alfred. I'll be traveling, so I'll be in Arizona. So I might have to remote in. But other than that, man, let's see what happens, guys. I mean, we're still waiting. Like I said, let's see if we get something on Epstein by next week. That'll be great.
I'm hoping. I've been telling people, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath, man.
Yeah.
But we got to stay positive, right? People on the right just say, be patient.
Yeah.
Be patient. And that's exactly what happened when Bill Barr was in control. Be patient. Be patient. And then all of a sudden, look what happened. 3 years later, we're still having this.
Yeah, we're still being patient.
We're still being patient now. So yeah, I agree with you, man. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. There's still a lot of stuff going on here with not only with with the left. It's funny, man. I was just reading somebody a little post that says Colorado spends 7.3 million in Medicaid payments on dead people. So think about it. The left is still stealing, bulging, taking away money from people. And that's in blue city. So can you imagine? It's happening in California as well, man. And we can't be happy for that. But hey, the left is doing.
Yeah, and doing. The another thing too is I don't want to hear about I don't want to hear about any more Doge findings.
Yeah,
I want some cuts.
Exactly.
So don't talk to me anymore about like, oh, we found this, we found that. Okay, well that's all good, but like, how much are we cutting spending on?
Well, like, the hardest thing, Isaac, that's going on right now is just that all this stuff that that Doge was able to find, unfortunately, needs to be approved through legislation through Congress.
Well, again, that's what I'm saying.
Think about it. Now we got to go. Not only do here is exposing it, and then nothing happens. It just sits on a chamber.
I don't even want to hear about it. Does it matter? Does it matter? Does it matter if you're finding things, but then nothing's really coming out of it?
And that's what it sounds like, man. Right now, that's what it's sounding like. It's sounding like, it's sitting in a chamber. It's going to sit in a chamber for a while because
I guess I should take it back. USAID was shut down.
Yeah, USAID was. Yeah,
well, that's good, right?
Something's good coming out. So there's some
we've had some good things, but no, we want more, Alfred. It's not enough.
It's not enough. So. We want more. We want more. I agree with you. I agree with you. Well, anyways, guys, well, thank you so much. I know some of you join in a little early, and then we join in at the right time. But it's been an hour and some minutes that we just, wanted to connect with you all. Just want to remind you all that we are connected here every Mondays at 7 p.m. We are in Pacific Standard Time, Los Angeles time. We also have a number where you can call in 714-464-0747. We're doing a live stream every Mondays. Other than if we have family here, remember, this is not our full-time job. Isaac has a job. I also have a job. Yep. So we come in here and connect and just let you know things that you probably already know, because a lot of you are very versed in the social media environment. But hey, we have a little breakdown and at least have an opportunity to vent with one another, So want to thank you for joining us, being part of our stream. Remember to follow us so you guys can get the notification. Turn on the notification bell if you're on YouTube. Follow us on Rumble, yep. Unrestrained Podcast, on YouTube, also Unrestrained Podcast, on X. We're barely testing out X, man, and I'm loving it. I'm loving all the people out in X. Thank you for joining us. I know it's tough. It's a tough market here with X, but guess what? We can speak freely. We tried the TikTok, we got banned. We tried the Facebook, we got banned. And so now we're just trying to look for other alternatives, and I think we're sticking with X, Rumble, and YouTube. So want to thank you for joining us here, and we will see you guys on the next Unrestrained Podcast next week at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yep. All right,
guys.
Take care.
You.
God bless.